Okay, everybody needs to be sitting for at least, hey kids over there, you gotta be quiet, okay? Everybody needs to be sitting, every student needs to be sitting at a
Keep an eye on it
table
because it was
that has some of these cards, at least for like review time, they need to be sitting at a table with these index cards to work with like some other students, okay? And then I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
Sarah, just keep an eye on that. Make sure it doesn't fall over. I Sarah, watch that. Make sure it doesn't fall over. I know. Got it.
Okay, do all the students, okay, if you are a student and you do not have a board, they're over here.
Do you have one, Lily?
Lily, I need your chart. Lily, I need this. Okay.
Okay. All right, y'all. Okay, we're only a few minutes late, but it is week 10, and so we are winding down our first semester, which is really strange to think about, but it is true. So let's go ahead and pray, and then we're going to get started with our review day, okay? So let's pray. Dear God, we give you thanks for this day, and we thank you for our community, and we thank you for the lovely lunch that we've had, God. Thank you for the work that went into providing it, and organizing it, and serving it, Lord. And Father, we just pray that you would be with us this afternoon. And I pray, God, that you would give us understanding and wisdom and just make things clear for us and for our children. And Lord, we just give you glory just for who you are and all of the good gifts that you give to us in this community being one of them, Lord. And we love you and ask all these things in Jesus' name. Okay. So we're going to have an adverb relay. So it is every student sitting. Hey, Carter, will you come over here with Micah Brunson so you can work at this relay with him real quick for me? You mind moving over here? Thanks. And then what we're going to do, when I say go, you're going to flip all these index cards over, and then you're going to be building what an adverb is and what an adjective is. The definitions of it, okay? So when everybody gets together, all right? And as soon as you're done, I want you to say done, okay? All right, Ruth, you can get it first. All right, ready, set, go. And Finish. What's the rest of it?
There you go.
Miss Jill, yes. You done? Are you done? Okay. Y'all done. Done. Not yet, not exactly. Sort it. Done. Sort it right. No. You got a little extra on the next one. Who's next? Y'all done? Yeah. We're done now. Okay, Callie and Lucy are right first. Okay. Okay, y'all got it. Done. Done. You got it. The right question. Hey, song. We're done. Song in your head for that? I don't know what song you're talking about. We don't have any active driver song memorized from CC Foundation. Anybody else need me to check?
Is that it? Listen. Six.
Done.
Okay, there you go. Now you know.
Achieved. We're done. I tried to get one that was we're done. Okay, ready? There you go.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay, guys. So that was to warm us up because we're really going to need to know these definitions, okay? Now, at our house, we sing the Adjective song, To Let It Go. That's the tune. Did y'all get that in your head for your Adjective song? Okay. You need, whatever your adjective or adverb song is, you need to know it and you need to know it well so that you can sing it to yourself, okay? But for right now, I'm going to have y'all help me fill these out real quick. So, what was the definition for an adverb? An adverb does what? Okay, you got to go a little. Modifies, whoops, not modifying. Modifies, wait. Wait, is it Y or I? Okay. An adverb modifies what? A verb, an adjective, or adverb. Okay? Now listen, this is important. You can't have an adverb, you can't have an adverb if it's not modifying one of these three things. Okay? It can only modify verb, adjective, or another adverb. Okay? That helps you to narrow it down. So an adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb, and answers the question. These are important, okay? You need to know the questions that it answers. And answers the questions what?
How?
How?
Where?
Well, yeah. Hold on, I have to do it in order. How, when, where, why, how often,
How much?
how much,
To what?
to what extent,
Under what condition?
yes, to what extent, under what condition. So they answer a lot of questions. Okay, now, an adjective says, what does it modify? A noun or a pronoun. That's easy to remember. Just two things, just nouns or pronouns, okay? An adjective modifies a noun or pronoun by describing, qualifying, or limiting.
And answers what kind, how many? Make sure who.
Yes, and answers the question, what kind, how many, which, and who. Now, I'm putting this up here because you're going to need to be referring to this to do the activities or answer the questions for this lesson, okay? Now, I would advise you, when you are working with things like we're going to be working with today, that you write this out so you can refer to it while you're doing your sentences, okay? Because the more it's not cheating. Give yourself props to look back at because you're not always going to need them, okay? It develops muscle memory. It's just like when my kids are doing Latin, I let them have their charts out and stuff like that because you are doing exercises to develop a certain muscle memory. You won't always need the props, okay? So I just really encourage you to have that stuff out. All right. So today we've got to talk about prepositions. And we were struggling through last week. I told you we were going to be doing it this week, where to put prepositional phrases in the sentences. Well, this is going to help you understand how to do that, okay? So, what are the prepositions? Roman?
About 11 o'clock after against the long event, among the round added by the four behind. Below the inside between the yellow by concern down, during, except, for, from, in, inside the two, like, near, of, off, on, to, outside, over, past, regarding, sisters, throughout, to, and toward, and under, underneath, until, up, upon, within, and without.
Good job. All right. So CC knows what it's doing by putting all of that stuff in your head, okay? Because you will have a much easier time starting and diagramming whenever you get to essentials, okay? So now we're going to be using that preposition song you're singing over in Foundation to really be able to understand how to recognize prepositional phrases in a sentence, okay? So prepositions, all those words that Rowan just saying, prepositions are what are always going to begin prepositional phrases. And prepositional phrases describe relationships, okay? So the backpack is beside the chair, okay? It's the relationship of the backpack to the chair. The backpack is beside the chair. The pencil is on the table, okay? The students sit around the room. Jill stands before the class. She writes with a marker. The pen fell under the table, okay? So it's all about, it's showing relationships. Yes, Caroline?
The crayon is out of the box, so without the box, it would be.
Yes, so yeah, you do have a lot of You were describing multiplication in preposition.
I only meant to use without.
Okay, so chart L this week, that's the chart that's highlighted for y'all. That is the prepositions, they're there for you. So if your child has been in foundations all the way up and they could sing that preposition song like 50 miles an hour, then have them start looking at the 2 or more word prepositions, because those are more advanced. There are 2 or more word prepositions that are listed on your chart L, and maybe have them work on memorizing and copying that part if they already, it's like prepositions they're all past, okay? Now, so when you have a prepositional phrase in a sentence, it will always be acting like an adverb or an adjective as a modifier, okay, as a sentence modifier. Every prepositional phrase is going to be acting like an adverb or an adjective, okay? So I went to the store. I went where? To the store. I went where? To the store. And so went is a verb. So to the store is acting like an adverb, okay? The church sang a hymn of courage. The church sang what kind of hymn? A hymn of courage, okay? A hymn, which is a noun, of courage. What kind of hymn? Of courage. So that's actually like an adjective, okay? In a prepositional phrase, there will never be a verb. We talked about this last week, actually in IEW, because we were talking about the prepositional opener. But now we're talking about it here, and we're saying there will never be a verb in a prepositional phrase. It will have a preposition, sometimes an adjective, like the, or something like that, and then a noun, which is going to act as the object of the preposition. So, we're going to talk about prepositional phrases, but first I'm going to go over, I didn't get all this filled in this morning, but we're going to be on the SVL PA today, okay? So that's subject, verb linking, predicate, what?
Nominative. Oh, pretty adjective.
Yeah, nominative was last week. Okay, so we're going to talk about this over here. So just like last week, the linking verb is going to be like an equal sign, okay? So like subject, verb linking is like equals, and then your predicate adjective, okay? It's like, it is describing the subject. It links them together, the linking verb does. This adjective and the predicate with the subject. The predicate adjective describes the subject instead of renaming the subject. Remember, what renames the subject? Predicate nominative. Yeah, that renames. Okay, so remember here, predicate nominative renames subject. So we have the nominative renames, okay? And your PA is going to be describing. All right, so let's take this sentence. Well, there's no sentence for that one, so I guess I need to throw that away. Okay. The rose is red. Okay, this is super simple. Super straightforward. No tricky business with this one. Okay? Yes, Caroline?
Okay, what was the sentence looking at?
Okay, hold on one second. Let me go over the sentence pattern, okay? Did you have a question about it?
There is a fish.
It's very distracting if there's a huge. Oh my gracious, that is a huge.
I'll try.
Oh Lord.
It might have baby on it. Is it brown or blue?
No, it's like a wolf spider.
Oh, it has baby.
He wasn't doing much of anything, but I don't want to.
trying babies to
How do
do
you know?
because if it's a wolf.
Okay, be back.
So are you gonna squash that?
Yes,
No.
I'm not offended. Are y'all offended if I squish it?
Nope.
No.
See you later, Taylor.
So that's why they're too big to squash.
Okay.
Go in your skin, yeah, that shit will hurt. You can still put
You're literally, I felt really obligated to squish it if they're a baby. I'll get it. I got the giant one that was almost as big as my foot. Okay. I'll get it. Okay, let's go back to this. Okay.
Halloween fun today.
Y'all, I feel like I don't even have what I need. I'm like all out of sorts. Okay.
The spider was underneath Bill's boot.
Okay. Were you planning to write that? Okay. Now, let us parse this, okay? Okay, so what structure have we been working on? Compound. Okay, so tell me, does this fit all the parts of compound? Yes? Okay, what? How do you know? Okay, the spider was huge, stands alone. And then what else do we have got? Or in or but or yet so this is our coordinating conjunction. And then do we have another unit called? It is now. Mhm. All right. So, Taylor, what is this sentence about?
The spider.
The spider. Okay. What does being said about spider?
Huge.
What?
Was.
What's huge?
Was. And then the spider was here what?
Huge.
Huge. And then does huge rename or describe spider?
Yes.
Yes. What does it do? It describes. So it's a PA making this a verb linking if you didn't already know this was. Okay? Because spider equals huge. Okay? That's like it's acting as a verb linking. Okay? Now, what about this? Here, what is this sentence about?
It.
Oh wait, what is the here?
It's an article.
Okay, adjective. Then it. What does he say about it?
Is.
Is. Ding, 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 ding. What do I say about is? For now. You always know that's the verb. Okay? And it is here or what? Dead. And is dead renaming or describing it?
Yes. It's described.
Yes, it's describing. So it is a PA. What is now? What do you think?
Preposition.
It's not a preposition. It's one of these.
Adverb.
It is an adverb because it's telling it is under what condition dead, or it is when is it dead? Like now. So like now is something like today, tomorrow, soon. Okay, it tells when. So when is it dead? It's now dead. So it can only modify a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. Okay? So we have a verb and an adjective. So it is dead now. I would say the now would go here. What would y'all You could be modifying the verb or the adjective. It is dead when, now. That's what I would say.
Yeah, so being adjective.
Well, I know it's an
It
adverb.
sounds like where it is, it almost sounds like it's an adjective since you got it before. I don't know, it's just where it's placed is weird.
Yeah, you probably need
Because I almost thought it was an
If
adjective.
you look on your adverb chart, I think now is on there. Can someone look at the adverb chart? Or let us know
What other question could it be?
when is the only thing I can think of.
That's the only thing I
It is dead when, now.
now that you can say
Yes,
like it's the way you it is now dead. That's like I feel like you can put it in different places and it would still make sense. Like it would still
well, because adverbs modify either way, like, I don't know. Am I, like, if you can justify it based on the questions that I would say.
it doesn't have
Okay, what did you say?
now.
Yeah. Sorry that gave you confusing.
No, I'm glad you
This is
did.
what happens to sentences in the wild.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did, because sometimes that helps to have weird things.
Yeah. Did y'all, do you mind if I add your chart? I mean, the adverb chart?
Yes, right.
Sometimes it tells you on here, I feel like the other chart had more extra ones on here. What did you say? If it goes under the verb or the adjective. Now, where would we diagram it?
Now is an adverb.
Yeah.
I can't do four times. It is now. Oh, instead of is or
Yeah. So, I think it would go here when you diagram it, but I'm not infallible, so just kind of asking you questions is how it is. So, do what? Under dead? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I
You can't see the board.
So I didn't know what the next.
Hold up, maybe you should have sat in the place that you could see.
I know, I'm trying to get a different perspective.
I mean, you know. Okay. No. Okay, so look at this one. Y'all, I really need to have my phone so I can keep up with the time. I feel like that I didn't wear my watch on accident and that adverb I think we were saying would go under the predicate adjective because it can modify an adjective. And we were saying that we think that that's what it was right there. I had diagrammed that one yet because I'm just trying to talk y'all through how to parse it. What about this? The rows on the trellis. You might want to write this on your board or on your paper or whatever we can work on it. Is red until
The petals fall off.
October. Okay. The rose on the trellis is red until October. Are there any prepositions in this sentence that might be beginning prepositional phrases? On. So this is a preposition.
And then until.
And until, okay? So we said prepositional phrases will have a preposition, sometimes an adjective, and then a what? And yeah, which is going to be the object preposition, right? Okay. So here on the trellis, okay? So here, this is a prepositional phrase on the trellis. We have our article adjective here, and then we have a noun, trellis. Trellis are those little crisscross things that plants grow up, if you don't know what that is. But anyway, so the rose on the trellis is red. We said until, that is a preposition. So until October, that's the month, so that's a noun. So that's our object of the preposition here. Okay? which is what I've always done. It doesn't say bracket them in here, but when I'm parsing, I always take those out because you know they're never going to be part of your main sentence pattern, and so I just bracket them. So what we're left with is the rose is red. Then we want to parse that, okay? So who or what is that sentence about? Rose. And what's being said about Rose? Is. And Rose is who or what? Red. And then does red rename or describe Rose? Yes. What is it doing?
Describe.
It's describing. So it's a what? It's a PA. All right. Making is a verb with P. And then what is this here? Article. All right. So now let's look at these prepositional phrases. Okay. And let's look at what we know about adverbs and adjectives, and let's figure out what is on the trellis. What question is it answering? Which, yes, because if you said the rose is red and you were with a whole bunch of, say you're in a botanic garden, okay, and you're in a rose garden. The rose is red. And you're going, which rose? And they're like, oh, the rose on the trellis. Okay, that's how that would work. Okay, so the rose on the trellis, answers which rose. So it's a what, Micah? What is this prepositional phrase acting as, an adverb and adjective? It's an adjective, okay? Now, we know that it's an adjective. It's acting as an adjective, okay? Now, it's modifying what word? Well, I've already said it here. Which rose? Okay? So it's modifying rose. In what part of speech is rose? It's a noun. So that's right then. We're thinking it's saying which rose because that's an adjective. Okay, it's telling me which rose here. And adjectives modify nouns. The rose is a noun, so that fits. Like that's what we think. Yeah.
I don't know why that's clicking for me because thinking about that being a noun, then it can only answer one of those because you put it modifying because I was thinking where the rose. So that's what tricks me sometimes.
Yeah. So if you're saying the rose where, well, you know where you can't be saying the rose where because where rose isn't one of these.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense? What Christy's saying? If you were getting confused, that would be something to say the rose where, but
Tell them where it's at on the trailer.
yeah, but it would actually be both the noun and it can't
Right.
do that.
Yes.
The right question is which instead of where.
Right.
Okay. All right. And so then until October, the rose is red until October. What do you think that is answering? The rose is red. So what question do you think until October is answering about the sentence? The rose is red when? Okay, when could be one.
Under what condition?
Under what condition is the rose red? Well, it's red until October. Yes. To what extent? To what extent is the rose red? It's red until October. Okay. So that answers several different ways. But this is definitely an adverb. It's acting as an adverb.
Could you do how?
Let me get this for a second. Hold on. About this, that it just came up to me, so it'll get this one. So that's something that I think that I didn't guide. These were just parsing. in my notes. But again, I'm going back to like on the diagram thing. I would think it would go under the PA. Because it's not, the rose is, it's not the rose is until October. It's the rose is red until October. So I would think that would be the question regarding when it's red until it goes under here. But because it can, you just need to know, adverbs can modify verbs or adjectives or another adverb. So that's why I was trying to think about that. But y'all try to diagram this because we said obviously this is modifying here and this is modifying this. That helps you. So try to go ahead and try to diagram that sentence and see what you get.
So you were saying until goes into the red?
Mm-hmm. Because it can only modify the verb or an adjective. That's all we have up there.
October's the noun.
Well, no, that's the object of the preposition, so that doesn't.
Opposite of preposition.
But until October, so I'm saying it can only modify is or red. But you're not saying the rose is until October. You're saying the rose is red, so it's telling it's red until October. And so I think that's what it's modifying. It's telling you under what conditions that it is red. It is red until October. Okay. You would like to not do that? Okay. Well, I will. Yeah, I'll go over that with y'all. I thought that I showed y'all last week how to do it.
You probably did. I'm least about.
Okay, so your main line is only going to be your SLPA, okay? Like here, that's your main line. Everything else is coming off of your main line, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put it up here, and then if you want to try it first, just don't look up here, just work at your board, and then you can check yourself, okay? Okay, so this is the main SVLPA on your line here. B is telling which row. B row. And then also, this prepositional phrase is answering the question, which rows? Well, the rows on the row, okay? So your preposition, just like an adjective, comes off on a diagonal line. And so that's where your word on would go. And then your object of the preposition goes off that one on a straight line. And that's where trellis would go. Okay, now I remember. Remember this? And then the adjective says it's the trellis. It's modifying trellis. So the goes under trellis. Like that. That's how that would look for that one. And then because we said until October, it's telling you to what extent that the rose is red, it's going to be modifying the predicate adjective. So it would just be until would be your preposition, and then October would be your object of the preposition, and it could go on that straight line.
Oh, yeah, you should.
Or a straight-ish line.
You can't do that. The object of the preposition is always on the straight line.
Yes, connected to the preposition. Mhm.
Oh, wait.
You have a question, Lily? Can help you figure it out? Did y'all look like this?
So I had, my only phone number is.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. Okay, so we said on the trellis, it's answering the question, which rows? The rows on the trellis. Which rows? The rows on the trellis. On the trellis. Okay? So if it's answering the question, which rows, it's answering this question right here, which means it's acting like a what? An adjective, and adjectives can only modify a noun or a pronoun. So if you put that a prepositional phrase that's acting like an adjective under is, we put it under the verb. And adjectives can't modify verbs. They can only modify a noun or pronoun. Does that make sense? Okay. That's why, y'all, I'm telling you, this makes me really have to use a lot of brain power when I do these prepositional phrases. So, and I've been doing this for, this is my 7th year in Essentials, okay? 7th year, and I still have to utilize, and even Miss Christie said, hey, I'd never thought of that. No, I'm just using how she's been through this with a bunch of kids too, and she was like, oh, I hadn't never thought of it because that's, so y'all, if you will just work with this in front of you and don't think, oh, I'm just having to use all these props for myself, do it, because maybe I wasn't doing this when I started with Anna Asher, and that's why it didn't click for right away. But, okay, yes, Missy.
Okay, Lily did hers,
Okay,
but I don't know, I just want to ask, on her, yeah, she's got weight. She didn't bring the line across. Does it
Okay.
have to go across
yes,
there?
okay. Let me show you, Lily, when I do your prepositional phrase, okay? Here you go, on the color, okay? So, when I'm doing these, I bracket prepositional phrases and postponed phrases. Okay, and then I know what each part of the main sentence that I start doing, and then I know these are going to come off the main line. So on is on the back line. And then your object of the preposition is always going to be on straight. And then your adjective that is under the other. On that line, just like that adjective and then that. And so when you're in on the block, here we put a tool on the back line. And then on here, we put a straight line. And then that's the object. Can you make sure that, this is what
I just want to make sure that.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yep, exactly right. Okay, let me look at the time and then let me look at the time.
Sometimes notebooks are in different.
Yep, that's right. Good job. Okay, is, do y'all have questions about this? Do you want me to do one more? Or, how do you feel about it? Does anybody need to do one more to see if you've got it?
What?
Want me to do one more? See how it goes? Okay, I'm gonna just do one more, okay?
No, I need to realize that.
You think I had it dreamed up with all these sentences about roses today, right? Okay. What about this one? The rose grows limp without water. Okay? So, does any type of preposition or prepositional phrases stand out to you? Without water is definitely a prepositional phrase, okay? So your preposition is which word? How did you know it was a prepositional phrase?
Because it says without.
And without.
It's the last of that.
Okay? So we know without is a preposition. And then water, is it a noun?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that that's what the rule is for prepositional phrases. There's a noun that can be an object of the preposition, okay? So that's kind of out of the way, so we can see what we've got left, and we can diagram that, all right? So here, what is this sentence about? Rose, sorry. Say rhyme. Okay, Rose, here are what, let me start, okay? What is being said about Rose? Grows. So the rose grows, here are what? Lint. Does lint rename or describe rose?
Yes.
Yes, and what does it do?
Describe.
Describe. So it is a PA and making this a verb linking, okay? Grows is a verb linking, remember, feel, become, remain, taste, see, appear, look, sound, say, smell, grow, be, these are the linking verbs, okay? So grow is one of the linking verbs, all right? Now, be careful though, it's a linking verb because all the questions that we ask, sometimes these things can throw you, so just make sure to ask your questions. Don't just start slapping stuff and not asking questions, okay? All right, so what is this here? Article adjective. Now, we have to, so we've got all this stuff out and we know how to diagram an SVLPA because that's easy, it's right here. But we will have to know where to put without water, okay? So, the rose grows limp without water. So what do you think, where do you think it's modifying and what questions is without water answering? Yep. It grows without water. Does it grow without water?
No.
It's not saying that the rose grows without water. So I would say it's probably not modifying the verb. Okay, but what is it telling you? What happens to it without water?
It doesn't grow.
It's limp without water. Okay, so it's saying that the rose grows limp. Under what condition does it grow limp? It grows limp without water. Okay, so you can kind of say the rose grows without water. Okay, well that's not what the sentence is saying at all, right? Okay, but the rose grows limp without water. Okay, that's what it's trying to say. So it's saying it grows limp under what condition? Yes. Okay, does that make sense? So if this is saying it grows, it's telling under what condition it grows limp. Well, limp is related to without water, and it's an adjective. Without water is actually asking adjective like, that is an adjective. Without water is asking adverbial questions, and adverbs definitely do modify adjectives, okay? So I would say it's telling you, not to what extent, under what condition the rose grows limp. So when you diagram this, the rose grows limp, because this is how you do an SVLPA. You would be putting without water here, because the rose grows limp. Under what condition? Without water, it will grow limp. So without is going to be your preposition, so it'll go on the diagonal. And then water is its object of the preposition, so it goes on that straight line connected to the preposition. So be patient with yourself about these because, like I said, they take a little bit, okay?
So I can for what?
Winter pain. Pain is a verb, so it can't be in a prepositional phrase. So until winter would be the preposition, and winter is in winter. That would be on. Does that make sense? Okay. Well, I hope that this was kind of clear a little bit. Do y'all feel like you kind of have it enough to try to do your sentences? Sort of muddle through? You can call me
She got it,
Penny.
no, she got it, she's excited.
I will answer you if you text me or you call me. I will comfort you if you need comfort this week. over this, but I think you'll be okay. All right, so work on copying and mastering prepositions. Part L, if you already know the prepositions, try to memorize the 2 to 3 word prepositions. I just really hate when you have multiple words that stand in a group for one thing. That just is not my thing, okay? Without water, but yes, good job. Okay, so just try to be choosing 1 or 2 charts a day to focus on, okay? If you're doing charts and all that. You can also do them orally to practice them. And then you're still supposed to be doing just tasks 1 through 4 for your weekly sentences, and that just goes down to the diagram, okay? Does anyone have any questions about this? Okay, so I'm almost like 15 minutes. We just kind of make it up as we flex our time where it's needed, I guess. Okay. So because I'm teaching you something new and I studied today, well, first let me do your charts real quick. So let me get into my. Okay. Who has charts to report? Oh, look at all of this, guys. Wonderful. Okay, hold on. Okay, Carter, how many do you have? What? That is awesome. Okay, Sarah?
I think I have 3 or 4.
Okay. I'm going to give you 4. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. 4? 9. All right, Lily?
6.
What?
60.
60? Oh, my word.
She loves doing her chart.
I think that's awesome.
Lily,
I have 4.
4.
off the top.
She loves doing her chart.
12.
What?
Some of us know how well she loves to do
Awesome.
her charts.
2. Callie? What did you do? 2? Did I get your daughter?
I think so.
Okay, let me see.
I'm not sure how you listen like she does the charts.
Add another one.
Add another one? Okay. Okay, let me. All of a sudden, my calculator has completely changed in my phone, and I don't know who did it, but I'm sure it was one of my children. And I'm like, where did this come from?
Never, children never mess with your phone.
It's probably the gift.
Do you
We
not have
usually
those
say
many
things like
ghosts
that.
at your house?
If things have happened at home, we're like, it was probably me. Okay, y'all. 123.
Wow.
I mean, that is impressive. Okay, hold on. Let me see what we had last week. What total were we at?
We only need 6. What was
Y'all have 263 total.
Can you make my chart, can, that, it would actually,
Wait.
I just did another chart.
Wait a minute. That's not right.
So I did 13 charts.
Oh, wait, hold on. Just a second. That's wrong. I was just adding it to total from last week. I'm sorry. Hold on one second, Caroline. Okay. 3,
Well, Lily said she's got to do one.
3. Hold on now. This wasn't right. 323. I was wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. You're at 446. Because I just added it to last week, so I thought that was the total, but it wasn't.
So are we going to?
We only need 104 charts by week 12 to have another party.
Yeah.
I will stop
Look, she's practicing handwriting,
it. This is true.
like so many things in chart. Attention, like that's a big deal to be able to look at one thing and copy another thing like that. Like she's getting spelling, she's getting so many things. Okay, so don't sell chart copying short.
Actually, add one more. Another one right now.
All right, 447. That's what y'all are at.
And remember, I did 13 because I just did the entire thing.
Okay, 448.
I'm doing one right now.
like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Okay, just hold on, okay. We're about to do IEW, okay?
Keep those for next week.
Now, we're gonna learn something new for IEW. So, now, we're not gonna read papers today, but, hold on. But I am gonna have you read a portion of something from your paper, okay? So, I would like you to still have your papers out, and I'm gonna have you read a portion of something from your paper, okay? What? Well, I have to teach you something brand new, and so I don't know that we're gonna have time to do it.
I have a question.
Yes, dear.
How do you do it?
Let's listen. She'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So go get your stuff out, and we are going to be on page 119 in your book. I would like for you, if you did bring a paper to read, I would like for you to take your paper out on Ashtabanacal Library. If you wrote that.
I think I did really good on it. That's the first time on my rough draft I can put these
Oh, I thought we were-
with wild cards.
Uh-oh. Sometimes we forget.
Wait, are we not on the
See what?
Are we not on
We're on lesson 13. We're gonna be doing lesson 13.
Can we read like another paper?
I'm gonna have you read something specific out of your paper. Okay.
13?
Uh-huh. So we are starting a brand new unit today, Unit 5. So if you have it, you can review the unit in your teaching, writing, and structure and style binder, like the notebook binder thing, okay? So you can review that at home if you want to get a better grasp on Unit 5, if you want to do that this week. But I'm gonna go over the highlights of it today and how we're gonna do, what Jody has, that binder, like your seminar binder or whatever it's called. Okay.
Is it called something, sorry, is it called something different from one?
I don't think so, teacher, okay, so last week, what was the new recipe we learned last week?
We learned
The opener, okay? And so see, y'all are like being just saturated with prepositional phrases right now in both strands of our essentials, so, I love when that happens. Okay, so a prepositional opener begins with a what? A preposition, and it ends with a what? Yeah, an object is a preposition or what? What part of speech is that? Now, okay? And it never includes a what? Verb. Never includes a verb, okay? Now, how do you indicate a prepositional opener on your paper whenever you're notating it? You're going to do that right at the beginning, okay? In your paper. So that just notate the number 2 is right. So that is, I've like got people over here that are watching me pull up my pants. Sorry, guys. I forgot that I was being watched inside. And then, whatever. And then it's over here. Okay. So, what I would like, I just wanted to take time to get around for everybody that can, or that wrote something, is I want to give y'all time to tell me one of your prepositional phrase openers that you put in your paper. Okay? So that way we can still share something from our paper, even if we don't have time to read all of it today. So anybody want to share one? Share their prepositional opener? Did anybody do the Ashtabanacal Library?
I did.
Okay. Do you want to share a prepositional phrase opener?
I didn't do it because I did two needed another one extra, but I'll just read.
Sure.
The first one.
Yes.
By the library, there was an incredibly large collection of over 30,000 plays.
Okay, inside. Start inside. Great. Good job. Okay.
Mine's from the line. After the cake opening, you said it's called cake.
I think it's cacao. I think.
After the cacao has been coated in sugar, mashed but loose on top of the pan, with a pot, which is hot and conducted.
Good job. Okay. I had to think about it for a minute.
I could share another one.
Okay, anybody else? Did you have one? You know them, please. Oh, man, I really want to read mine. Pick me next. Pick me next. No, say that. You. Sorry. Okay. Well, Micah, you want to read your other two that you have then?
In 669 through 631 BC, after the Menopause was the last king of Assyria, commercial food and
Awesome. Okay.
during his reign, he tried to place on any tablets as possible, but then he spread throughout the
Awesome. Great job. Great job.
Quick question, whose is this?
Is that one of the
that's-
Williams girls?
Yeah, that's the Williams Rose.
Okay.
I just saw it laying in the hall and I saw it.
Okay. Thanks, Caroline. Did you do it at Ashtabona Falls Library? Did you do your paper on that one, Lily? You did, okay. I wanted to make sure you had a chance to share if you wanted to do a prepositional opener. Caroline, did you have a prepositional opener you wanted to share with us?
This is one of those, we homeschool, so we're just stuck in the.
And I think you should take those, not that sort of fun. I'm telling you, I said I've been falling down on reviewing Salem's geography for foundations because I feel like since the beginning of October, I've been like halfway drowning and I'm not really sure why,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Maybe it's in the air.
Keep having a good Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Okay, so in this unit, you are going to be writing from pictures. So it's not that you're writing from a source text, you're writing from pictures. Okay.
This is gonna be fun.
So it is kind of fun, Micah. So there are some people, like your mom, that would probably rather have a source text because it's black and white and you can follow a formula and get these right answers, okay? But writing some pictures is more fun for people like you maybe, like my daughter, things like that, okay? Who don't want to be all constrained by these rules. They just want to write the great idea they have in their head, okay? So this, at least, I feel like the units do tailor, they at least give people with both of those types of brains, like units that they can thrive and be delighted in. Okay, so this, if you like creative writing, then this will be a fun unit for you. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go over some technical things for you, and then we're going to have some examples of it. All right. So yes, ma'am.
I'm going to have to read my paper after next week, because next week I'm gonna be on vacation.
Perfect. I'm so happy you get to get some vacation. That is absolutely
They
fine.
have to take pictures of everything.
Make a paper from their pictures.
Oh,
Yeah, of course you could. Okay, so you're going to be writing 3 paragraphs from a series of 3 pictures. So, although it may seem like they're wanting you to tell a story, they're really wanting you to describe each picture, like each event that's going on in the picture. Now, the reason I say it's creative is because all you have is a picture. So you're going to have to make a lot of the background stuff up, okay? Or you're going to have to be imagining what's happening in some of the remarks, okay? But your main task is to describe. So think of it like that. If you feel like I'm not creative, how will I ever get through this? Then you just need to remember describe the pictures. Describe what's going on in the pictures, okay? Now, each paragraph is going to begin with a central fact. You've got the central fact. That is going to be your first line of your paragraph, okay? Or your first line of your keyword outline. It's going to be your central fact. Now, let me tell you what you write on for your central fact, okay? Crystal, I'm going to give you a formula, okay?
I don't mind.
Look,
this.
I'm
Don't
telling
write
you
a
this
book.
because this is who I am. I am that person that wants the formula, okay? So this is how I got through writing the pictures through 2 kids, okay? So I'm just going to tell you, this is what I did for myself. the central fact, which is going to be your 3 keywords on the first line, is going to be what you see in the picture. Okay? That's what's going to go on this line. You're going to think of what you see in the picture. You're going to write 3 keywords of what you see. Okay? This is going to make more sense, so just hang with me, okay? So then the details, these details here, these are going to be filled in by asking yourself questions about what's going on in the picture, okay? So they have a whole list of questions for you on the side that you can ask, like who is in the picture, what is going on in the picture, and also it helps to think about the details. A lot of the details are going to be filled in by like, you know how sometimes in books or in movies or whatever, you'll get a scene and you just think it's action scene, but it's really like maybe the movie's just opened or something, you don't really know what's going on or how they got there, and then the book or the movie gives you a flashback and it gives you all the steps that led up to that scene. That's what this is kind of like, okay? So the details a lot of times are, you're going to be asking yourself questions and answering those questions, but they're really going to kind of be giving details of sort of how things led up to what's going on in this picture. Does that make sense? I don't know, maybe it's confusing anymore, but what?
And these pictures are the books.
Well, we're going to get there. I'm going over these things and then we're going to go over the pictures, okay? Okay, so the details, you're going to be the answers to your questions. Okay, answers to your questions that you ask yourself about the pictures, okay? That's what the details are going to be. So if you said, you know, who is in this picture? You're going to want to give these people names in your picture, okay? So you might say, well, Marco and some shit, like, or said, who is in this picture? Denise from, I don't know, Crete or Cyprus, what near Greece, I don't know. I'm just like, you know, whatever. Okay, so you can kind of, but you're gonna have to be sort of making, you're not gonna have the answers in black and white in the source text. You're kind of gotta fill this in, okay? And then, lastly, you're gonna have a clincher sentence. And I said something about clinchers last week, but I forgot that we hadn't gone over clinchers yet. Like, this is the week we over clinchers. So, anyway, if I confused you, I'm sorry, but I was ahead of myself. But a clincher is where the topic sentence and the clincher sentence are related. The topic in the clincher must repeat or reflect 2 to 3 keywords, okay? So you're stating something, you're telling about it, and at the end, you're kind of reminding them of what you said in the first place. What does that remind you of, sort of? What other rule do we have that sort of reminds you of? The title, yes, okay? So, clincher, repeat, or reflect. 2 to 3 keywords, okay? From topic. That's the new rule. That's like a new rule that you'll have, okay, that you're doing clinchers. So, let me read you the historical stuff first. Wait, I thought that I had some historical stuff to read to you. Oh, yes, I do. So the historical information gives you a little bit of background on these pictures or background on the area and the time period. So at least you have that, and then you can kind of make up some things from that. So I'm going to read that to you, okay? So just listen to this. It's actually on 120, page 120. Lesson 2 provides information about the lighthouse of Alexandria that stood on the island of Pharos. Remember, we talked about that, okay? We did this through our lighthouse one. If you don't remember it, you can look at the source text on page 20 if you want to get more information about that time. Most scholars believe the legend about the lighthouse mirror being used to burn approaching enemy ship is just a myth. Still, the legend makes a fun story to think and write about. When you write, consider that at the time the lighthouse was built, Egypt was part of the Greek Empire. In fact, Alexandria was named after Alexander the Great, the Greek who conquered it. The city was considered the center of culture of the Greek Empire. It was a Greek-speaking city. With this in mind, when you write your composition, make it more realistic by looking up Greek names for your characters. Here are a few ideas. Alex, Alexander, Andres, Bailey, Caleb, Colin, Homer, Jason, Lucas, Marcos, Phil. Okay. So that's a little bit of information here. So, here are your pictures, okay? Does everybody who wanted this have it? Because I keep dropping.
Anita.
Do I? Did it go back here? Did spider run off with it? Oh, here it is. Thank you. I threw that because it was not, it didn't have a tip, and I'll keep grabbing it if I don't throw it away from me. Okay. Okay. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the first picture. So, what do you see in the picture on page 122?
There's a person staring at boats.
Person staring at boats, okay? What else? Anybody else want to add anything to it? Okay, a young man, you see a young man looking at boats, okay?
Young man watching warships come into.
Okay, maybe they're warships. Young man, warships, you see, okay, yes, looks. Okay, the young man, he looks mad. Maybe he looks mad, okay? We're really looking at the picture, yep.
I put little Jimmy was mad because the boats were coming inside the boats were next.
Okay, well, this is, okay. This is, they are in Greece, so that's where you can say. So you can say, you can name Jimmy if you want. You can say he's mad, the boats are coming in. Yep.
Like the waves were not calm, they were like, what's the other word for it? Waves on the.
Like choppy maybe, or rough, or something like that. Okay, so, okay, so I've heard a lot of things. So we could say something like, there's mad, young man. I don't know if we want to use 2 words for that.
Why not just draw a little guy?
Okay. We see a, oh my. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So we've got a mad young man, and he sees enemy boats. Maybe from the cliff. He looks like he's standing on a cliff. Okay. Maybe I needed to put here, standing on a cliff. There's a man, he's mad, he's enemy boats coming in. I don't know, something like that. That's in the beginning because that's what we're seeing in the picture. Okay, that's why it's there. All right. So then we would say, well, there's all kinds. There's questions down the margin of your keyword outline page. Who, what, where, how, why, when, doing, thinking, feeling, saying, before, after, outside. Okay. So so now we need to flesh out this picture. Okay. So who is this guy standing on the cliff? And what is he doing out there? Okay, why is he standing on the cliff? What's he doing out there? We didn't see. Okay, Prince Alexander. Okay, let's say he's Prince Alexander. And why was he out on the cliff in the first place? He was protecting.
He was guarding, watching, protecting.
Okay, Prince Alex. Let's say he's watching because he wanted to protect the city.
Or you could say society.
Well, I'm just trying to draw something like simple. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a city like back then. We just know we could just do something that looks like a city, okay? These are big, tall buildings. Not that they were in Greece, but that might help me remember their buildings. Okay, so, okay, who is this guy? What is he doing? So what was happening before he saw the enemy ship? There's a question that says before, okay? So let's just pick that one. What was he doing out there? That's why he was out there. What did he do before he went out there to watch and protect the city? Feasting, okay. He went to feast and went for a walk because he's so full or something. I don't know. Okay. Well, let's say, hold on. Let's say, why were they feasting? Maybe it's his birthday, okay?
We saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry. Oh, but Megan said he was on Amazon package.
Oh, yes.
Amazonian package.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe, from a general, what if, he's waiting for it. So let's ask for another question, okay? So what? He's waiting for his. So what is he when he goes on this walk? What is he thinking? Is he thinking? Why did he go to the cliff? Is he thinking he wanted to watch the boat sail in or something, and then
Maybe it was like sunset.
watch the sunset? Okay. So he's thinking. How about watch the sunset and boat? Okay. And then, hold on, how many fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then what if he realized after he was watching them that they were moored boats?
He goes back to like get all the night.
Okay, what if he realized after he's watching the sunset, watching boats go in, la-di-da, he's had his birthday cake, and then all of a sudden he realizes, hey wait, these are warships. Okay, so,
Or maybe he went out. It was estimated arrival for an Egyptian.
maybe so, we'll never know.
And he's mad because he's like, they don't have my captives.
Okay, so the clincher will be, once you write this, then you'll decide how you want to do your clincher. So if I wanted to just make these into sentences, I would just say something like, well, we may want to say this mad guy now is Prince Alexander or something, okay? So, as Prince Alexander stands on a cliff, he sees enemy ships sail in. Earlier, Prince Alex saw the ships when he was watching over to protect his city. He had just come from a birthday feast and wanted to go for a walk. He enjoyed watching the sunset and the boats come in. And then, as the boats got closer, he realizes the boats are warships. Okay? I don't know. This is how this goes, okay? It's hard for me, all right? It may be great for you, but these, I don't think are. Okay, so that's kind of how it will go for you. Then go ahead.
Are you doing the clincher or are we going else?
So then the clincher realizes the votes of worship. And then
So you could say something
he's
like,
furious that they would
okay, like,
come against his city for war.
as Prince Alexander realizes that the warships are coming to destroy his blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
he frantically runs back to town to warn the others of the impending doom.
Well, yeah, but that would be the next, that's the next central fire.
So we need to finish up
You're
this
gotta
first.
do this. So then it would make sense when you realize about the warships, that again, you would talk about his anger.
Or his great trepidation of what was to come, because
Sure. Yes, this is where Caroline.
he thought it was gonna be a good day, okay.
I thought it was gonna be a good day because he's like, oh, my Egypt package is here.
Yeah, you can make it like that if you like. Yes.
Is it supposed to be 5 seasonal? A central fact. Okay, Amazon, and then you play that.
Yeah, you can do it other details. Sorry. You're right. But you don't always have to. I mean, you can kind of. So what about, wait, let me see what time it is. Okay, we're almost, what would be the central fact of the next picture that you see? Remember, what happened in the picture?
Oh, I didn't even look at
So
that.
Prince Alex, you see him running to the lighthouse. Okay, we see the ships coming closer to the harbor, and Prince Alexander is running to the lighthouse. So our central fact would say something like Prince Alex running lighthouse. Or something like that. And then you start asking yourself those questions again. What is he doing? Well, where is he going? Well, why does he want to go there? Well, he feels like he's going to go and do battle with the ships or whatever at the White House, I guess.
Let's
Well,
go get
how
his
does
friends to do that.
Do what?
He has to go get his friends to do that.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, what is he thinking? You can describe what he's thinking. What is he feeling?
Does he have time? Okay.
Does this make sense what I'm saying? Like, just ask yourself these questions up here, and yes. No, we're not, we will have time to do that, I'm sorry. We're like, I'm trying to make it time. Okay, do y'all have any questions about this? I know you're probably like, yes, a lot. Okay, do you have a question?
Yeah, it's about the outline. That book that Jody had, I was looking at it, and it said something about like thirds or infiltrators. It recommended like just letting them even copy word for word the central fact and the clincher as the same exact sentence.
Okay.
I guess I've always thought you kind of need to transition into the next paragraph. So I didn't know, did you do that with yours, or did you?
Yeah, I mean, that, one of the topic clincher, that's like a big deal for when you start writing your faces of history and all of that, you can transition in the first, well, it's just, this is like, especially whenever you're writing research papers and your research and stuff, this is how they're gonna like every paragraph.
You have to finish, so you finish up with the clincher, and it's sort of in a transition, but like I was trying to go ahead and make the change, and you don't, I don't know that I'm making sense at all what I'm saying, but you don't go ahead and make the change to the second paragraph and finish up the first one first. So you're kind of transitional, but coming on.
Well, I mean, if you, like, you could always use a prepositional opener if you wanna segue, but still make a topic sentence, like, for your next paragraph, because each paragraph is about a different topic. So,
Did you have yours just repeat the same?
I didn't have mine repeat. I just had them do like repeat or reflect 2 to 3 keywords. Because if I said, Alexander is angry, standing on the cliff, and the ships come in, And then at the end, after he realized that the votes are worship, Prince Alexander was incensed that another country would dare try to come and ransack the city. I don't know, something, and you're saying, you're closing it up, and you're using some of these words up here. If he's incensed, he's angry. If he's, enemies, you would still be using enemies. That would be enough. You'd still be talking about Prince Alexander. So that's enough already to repeat or reflect 2, 3 key words.
Do you have to name the person
After I what?
after a Greek name or something like Michael?
Sure, you could name him Michael Jr. You can, it's not about content. It's about structure and style, okay? So people are saying crazy stuff about Egypt e-delivery and all that or whatever, as long as you are writing from the pictures, following the model, using your topic in your clincher, then okay. But you can't be saying crazy stuff that's like not, where you're not doing the central fact of naming what's in the picture, okay?
Not related to the picture.
Yeah, gotta be in the picture, yep.
Can my person be Aries God of War?
Sure. You want that? Sure. Sure. Not about content.
And I'm naming mine Michael Jr.
All right, you just see. Okay. So it is math time.
Just do it, just don't be proud.
Let's do it.
And a little, just do it, just don't be proud, a little jealous.
Just do it. I've got a lot of. Now, is there a math game? I don't do this often, but I'm willing to take for play.
Battle around the world.
Battleship. Okay, you can tell me one time.
Around the world.
We have around the world and battleship. Anybody? What is that word plan?
You'll need a world.
Okay.
Wait, I changed my mind.
I changed my mind. Jack. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jack is kind of like the name that I feel like you
Jody might have a problem.
Okay.
Oh. No, this, I don't know.
So battleship is kind of related to the I guess. Okay. Well, are y'all okay with doing battleship then if we do that? Okay, y'all, we're gonna play battleship. And which means I'll need to get everybody, what number do you want?
Gonna get you Caroline. Targeting Caroline.
Micah, Kent,
I need 2.
Micah Brennan,
It has to be me. Well, I want it to be 10. Well, we need a marker.
wait, are you, am I spelling this right? Okay.
30.
30, Sarah,
40.
like Carter, 15. Are you gonna play? Okay. 3.
Can I be
Carolina,
77?
all right.
Can I change my number
Yeah.
to 90?
to change, you only have to change one time.
Okay, fine, I want it to stay.
You have to say, I mean, you can't cancel with the star. Okay.
Oh, then I want to stay.
Okay, Callie, 100.
I'm already done.
Lucy,
87.
okay. I may have to have people more centralized next time. Okay, that's everybody?
Yep.
Okay, so,
Hey, wait.
hold on, y'all, I just want to grab some,
Caliana? Oh, there's no text. Actually, I'm going to what she did. Oh. Hey, Caliana? What? I have a friend called Caliana. I have a friend
how many do I usually do? How many dice do I usually roll
It's not a nice.
in this game?
Can we do one fraction? Roll one. Here, just one. So we can doing everything or just plus? No,
Any operation.
any other. Wait, so we can do, division, multiplication. So we
You can do any operation.
Wait, can we do like zero power?
Do I usually do one dice or two?
One.
One? Is that how I do this?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a crazy dice. Okay.
A crazy noise?
I'm gonna do one that's got like a bunch of numbers on it.
Does it have every single number, but it doesn't at least have the basics to 10? I'm gonna do the 10 zero power.
Sure. Any operation. So you're starting with your number, then doing an operation with the number that I roll, and then if you get one of these numbers, you tell me and they get a hit. And then the next time I roll, you're starting with whatever number that you got before. And does that make sense? Isn't that right? Isn't that how we play it? Okay. Y'all know it took me a while to learn. Okay, here we go. 2.
So we're only doing one number.
50. Okay.
I'm going to subtract.
Roman got a hit.
Oh!
Anybody else?
Wait, 2 squared, what would that mean? 2 squared?
Okay, I'm gonna roll. 3.
I got my.
You got Micah, which one? Micah B. Micah B, you've been hit. Roman?
I would do 4 minus 3 to 0 power equals 30. And that is.
Abigail?
Abigail.
Abigail, you got hit by Roman. She got the back. Okay. All right, I'm gonna roll again.
I hit Callie.
Okay. Oh, Callie, you got a hit. Okay, I'm gonna roll again. 10. 10. Mm-hmm.
Two.
Okay. Okay, wait, okay. Sorry, Lucy, go ahead.
Wait, what was the roll? You are
10 is what I just rolled, but now I'm about to roll because I'm giving you all the time. 7.
So what was the number again?
7.
Okay, 7. I hit Lily. Yeah, I did. I hit Carter.
All right, Carter, you got a hit. Anybody else? Okay. Number 1.
I hit Lily.
Lily? Oh, no, Lily.
Lily. Oh, I hit Lily a minute ago.
You didn't tell me?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I didn't hear you. You should have said, Miss Jill, I said I hit Lily.
I hit Lily.
I'm sorry. You hit her this time?
Last time.
Well, sorry. After I roll again, you don't get to back hit people. Okay, I'm rolling again. 10.
10. I hit Sarah.
Hit Sarah.
I didn't hit. Just did that. Remember that we can do the beans and hit them again? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do 16 minus 10 to 0 power 15.
Uh-oh, Carter. 2 hits. One more and you're a ghost ship, taking vengeance on all the people that killed you. Okay, anybody else?
I still want to.
Okay, here we go. 10. What in the world? What, Abigail?
I think I hit.
You hit her?
I think so. You hit her last time. Yeah, it says that she hit her last time. And if Sarah hit her, that means that she's a ghost ship.
No, you can't backseat. If you didn't let me know last turn, you can't hit it.
I can, but you would roll from the die.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. So, you mean this one right before I rolled?
Well, I figured it out what you were about to roll.
Okay. This is past time. Okay, that's fine.
No!
Rudy,
You give me the board like that.
Oh, mine's next. Uh-oh. Lucy. Okay, has everyone told me? I'm sorry, sometimes I just give a long time and I just, then everybody tells me at the end. Okay, here we go. 3.
16 minus 3 to 0 power 15.
Oh, okay.
I just hit Caroline.
Carter. Here it goes, Carter.
I hit Caroline.
Caroline.
Abigail didn't realize it, but while she was talking, she had hit Sarah. Oh,
What now? She didn't really hit, she did hit?
well, she hit it, but she hadn't realized it.
hasn't what? Oh, realized it. Okay, fine. That's fine. Sarah. Okay? Lucy? Hallie. What? Everyone has a hit. Anybody else have hit? Lily? Hallie, Anna, now you from Wisconsin. Get vengeance.
Who was the first woman?
Lily hit you and somebody else hit you. I don't remember what she was. Do we need to start making tabs with names over there so you know who to get it go after? Okay. I don't remember. 3 maybe. Okay, here we go. 7.
I hit Sarah.
Sarah. Oh, Sarah, you're a ghost now.
What was the number you rolled?
7. Caroline?
I'm trying to kill my
Anybody else?
Wait, where's mine? I only had one. I hit
Anybody else? Which one? Micah Smith. You're dead, Micah Smith.
Wait, what did you roll?
You missed some.
What did you roll?
7, I think.
Okay, wait, was this the second 7 in a row?
I don't think so.
Wait, was this the second time?
I don't think so. I don't think that I've rolled 7 yet.
Let's roll.
Okay, here we go. 2. Number 2. Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna roll again. 11. That should be fun.
I hit Lucy.
With the 11? Okay, Lucy, you're hit.
I hit Lily.
You hit Lily?
Oh,
Lily, oh no! Partner in the place. The watery grave.
Someone get broken. And Carol. I know, but anytime I do that.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Kind of like do it in between. Yep. Oh, Abigail?
Everybody take
Okay, here we go. 10.
I hate Caroline. Wait, Caroline.
Caroline?
Okay. I hate her too.
Oh, no. You're in a ghost ship.
Keep rolling out.
Golly. Okay, here we go. 11.
Did you go into the negatives like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, you were going
Anybody? Wants anybody to look at my have to divide it.
I'm at negative 3. Wait.
Okay, here we go. 3.
So if you did minus 3 squared, can you do wait, you put 3 squared?
9.
Here, it's a go.
No, but it happened in here.
Okay, here we go.
Wait.
What? Okay, here we go. 9.
Alright, I hit my guess. Okay, so you can do 11 minus 9, then 0 power equals. She and all
Can
that.
I do nothing on this turn?
Wait, no, just me.
Can I do nothing on this turn? Okay, we're quitting. Because now Micah has to get his turn. Has one, so Bremen wins.
Just one roll. Wait, there's no roll. She could win. No, Micah Bryson is
And he did.
there is a way, but Micah Bryson has one more life.
I know, but we're quitting. And so when we quit, she won. Because she has the reason to quit.
You can do I was about to. Okay. I wish I won
Also,
Mine's not there. Still want to go.